don't all recognize me because I spent the first half of my life as a brunette. But honey, now I'm a blonde.
And San Francisco is very happy to welcome you to the gorgeous CASTRO.
Give it switch to.
Well, Jane, how does it feel when you look at those clips? What does that feel like when you look at some of those?
Oh boy.
Okay, well let's start.
I have trouble hearing and seeing, but I can still sing and dance.
Well, you know. Now we're lucky enough because I think you're going to grace us with a little bit of something you love to do better than anything else, which is singing.
East is east, and west is west, and the wrong one I have chose. Let's go where they keep on wearing those frills and flowers, buttons and bows, rings and things and buttons and bows. Don't on this prairie, take me where the cement grows. Let's move down to some big town where they'll love a gal by the cut of her clothes, and I'll stand out in buttons and bells. Buckskin or shirts that I've homespun, but I'd love you longer, stronger, where your friends don't tote a gun. My hurts my soul. Let's vamoose, where gals keep using those silks and satins and linen that shows, and I'm all yours in buttons and bows. Peggy Lee wrote a song for me some time ago, and I'd like to do it for you if I can. It's not really a song, it was done to Big Bad John. In the entertainment world, we have a kind of game. Everybody gets a pet nickname, and when I got in the movies, it was just the same. I got mine. Big Jane. Now, you never really know when you might get that role that you can play with all your heart and all of your soul. You might be typecast and you might not be, but this is the way it happened to me, Big Jane. Big Jane, Big Jane, Big Bad Jane. When Howard Hughes found that wild outlaw who was fast on the trigger and quick on the draw, who did they call to make the outlaw thaw? They called upon a gal who could lay down the law. Big January. And Boston, you can remember, they stopped it cold for some reason or other, so I've been told. Mr. Hughes flew away in his great big plane. And who stuck around and got all the blame? Big Jane. Big Jane. Poor Jane. Big bad Jane. And then there was a picture with Dear Ski Nose. We got to sing a song about buttons and bows. Bob played a dentist called Painless Pete. And every time I kissed him and knocked him off his feet, big Jane. Now wait a minute, I've got to tell you about Bob Hope. He was a doll to work with. And I want to tell you a secret. He was crazy about me. He used to call me Lumps. Well, you don't understand. When he was being really affectionate, it was lumpy. But he was a doll to work with. And then there was Robert Mitchum. You know, when I first met him, I overheard him tell his brother that my name was Hard John, and that Hard John was a hard man to shave, remember? I said, where did you get that? And he said, well, when we were kids, we had to go to a country school, and there was a girl there, and she had a dress on, but she had long red flannel underwear going down to her ankles, and, well, we called her Hard John. And you kind of remind me of her. Oh, thank you, darling. But as I told you before, we did learn to love each other. I think that was just because he thought I was going to be a pushover, and I weren't. And then there was Richard Egan. I had picked Richard Egan for this particular picture. It was underwater. And I said no to the director that any guy that's been working on boats and out around water all the time and sun, he's going to have some light color in his hair, just the ends of it. So he was sent up to the makeup department and the hairdressing and everything, and the guy up there bleached him right to the core. And he was screaming at the top of his lungs, and I'm over in the corner going, and that was the beginning of our, well, we just had a lot of fun fighting constantly because, see, that was all my fault, you know. And so it was back and forth and back and forth. And other people would listen to us and just think, oh, you know, but we were like that. And later, we made a picture, Mamie Stover. And Richard had always called me Blackie with my dark hair. But in the other one, I had red hair, and he still called me Blackie. And we're still arguing, and I kept saying, you're a good Catholic boy, and you're supposed to stop running around with all these broads and get married. And he would, you know, yell back at something. So one night, we were sitting in it was a big restaurant with a dance floor and music, and there were a whole big long table of guys in uniform sitting there. And we were arguing and everything, and pretty soon one of the guys in uniform came around and whispered in my ear. Richard's across the table from me, and we're with other people, and he's whispering. And I said, oh, no, thank you, but maybe later. And so he left, and Richard said, what did he want? I said, he was wondering if I'd like it if he kicked you in the ass. He what? I said, excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom. Well, when I came back, Richard was all the way over there at the table with this guy, and they're clicking glasses. And the whole big long table of guys are clicking glasses. And the big smile on their face, and Richard turns around and the smile goes, wow. And he walks back over and he says, that guy only asked you to dance. And you just spent, I had to spend $150. I had to buy every guy at that table a drink. Oh, is that what he said? Well, we did have a lot of fun. Anyway, after that, shortly after that, he did get married. And he said, he called me, he says, I'm getting married in San Francisco, and you have got to be there. So I came up, and he got married. It was wonderful. He ended up with a whole bunch of kids. Picture, Mamie Stover had Raoul Walsh as the director. And he had a patch over one eye, and he rolled his own cigarettes. And people had told me, don't ever go on his set because he's mean. And I just loved him. He would watch a scene, and he'd say, all right, take it before they forget it. So some of the actors got so annoyed, and I said, he's listening. He's listening to you. Shut up. Anyway, I called him Father. I called him every single Father's Day as long as he lived. And he called me Grandma. He got it out of some, you know, one of the lines in one of the pictures we made together. Because I worked 2 pictures with every single one of these guys. And when the next one we made was with Clark Gable. And Gable was a Valley guy. I was a Valley girl. And he was one of the biggest teases I have ever seen in my life. He loved needling people. There was a song that I had to sing in that picture, and it was, I wish I was an apple hanging on a tree, and every time my sweetie passed by, he'd take a bite of me. And if he wants more apples, here's all he has to know. Just plant my tree in Prairie Dog Creek and watch them apples grow. And Gable Gable would be lying over there on the hay, and he'd say, "Come on over here, Grandma. I'll plant your tree." Funny guy. And then came the blonde old Marilyn Monroe, Gemini, shy and easy to know. She was cuddly and sweet and seemed so small. She made old Jane feel 10 feet tall. Old Jane. Big Jane. Well, as Shakespeare said, what's in a name? And I want to tell you, I feel about the same. I don't quite know what the next gig will be, but it's going to be fun, and it's going to be me, baby. Big bad old Jane.